Well, thanks so much for joining me and for this webinar on Zanzibar White Sands Luxury Villas and Spa. So I'm lucky enough to be working with Zanzibar White Sands since they launched in 2014. And it is the only Relais Chateaux property in Zanzibar, and it is the most beautiful 11 villa property on the southeastern side of the island. So Zanzibar White Sands is located on Paje Beach, which, as I say, is the southeastern side of the island, about an hour's drive from the airport. And Zanzibar is known to be very tidal. So when the tide goes out, it goes out very far. And in certain parts of Zanzibar, you can actually get quite a lot of seaweed that unfortunately appears when the tide goes out. But we're very lucky in this area because when the tide goes out, you don't see any seaweed. So it's very beautiful and very sandy. And so this is a real plus point for this particular area of Zanzibar. Paje Beach is a brilliant kite surfing beach because it is windy, consistent wind all year round, except for May and November when the trade winds are turning. So it's a really popular spot for kite surfers in particular. But Zanzibar is in the tropics, so it's got a pretty heavenly climate. It doesn't really go below 20 degrees or higher than 33 degrees. Rainiest months tend to be April, May time, so nowish. But really, apart from that, it's pretty glorious all year round. And it's only 1 hour time difference from Europe. So particularly for us guys based here in Europe, there's no jet lag, which is brilliant. It's very easy access from 27 different areas, and you fly into Zanzibar Airport. And as I mentioned, it's about an hour's transfer across the island. It's a lovely transfer, actually. You drive through the lovely wooded areas, through villages. It's a really good road. The roads around Zanzibar are very, very good. And the property itself can actually organise the transfers for you. So you can, when you make your booking, they can just organise the transfers for you. It's in their own vehicle. It's a lovely air-conditioned vehicle. So it's a really nice, kind of soft, gentle landing into Zanzibar. So this is another image of the beach, particularly when the tide goes out. So you can see where the waves are breaking. That's actually a coral reef, which creates a kind of natural buffer, not only for the seaweed to prevent it from coming in, but also for the waves. So it means it's almost like a natural lagoon between the reef and the beach, which means the sea is very flat, which is why it's very safe for children, but it's also very, very good for kite surfing because you don't have the waves, but you have the constant wind. And it's really beautiful when the tide goes out. This is what it looks like. So the resort itself is 11 villas. There are 5 one-bedroom villas, 5 two-bedroom villas, and a 5-bedroom villa. And the one-bedroom villas are in the first row. Each villa has 2 buildings, a separate bedroom and a separate lounge sitting room area. So the unit in its entirety is 2 buildings. It's separate. It's spread over 1,500 square meters. So it's really enormous and very private. And the gardens are really well established, very green and lush. So you have total privacy from your neighbour. And the one-bedroom villas, they have salas on the beach as well, so you have direct access to the beach. The 2-bedroom villas are in the row behind, and they are double-story. They're twin-story, so they're exactly the same bedroom, one on top of the other. Access externally by an external staircase. And then the 5-bedroom villa is in the palm trees at the back, on the kind of right-hand side. The main reception, spa, swimming pool, bar, restaurant area is actually the big roof you see at the back of the plot. And over the road, you'll see some other thatched buildings. That is where we have our new tennis court. We also have our carpentry workshop, and a lot of the gardens are there as well. The water sports centre is what you see down on the beach where the flags are flying. That's owned by the property. And obviously kite surfing is chargeable. You can have a teacher, or you can hire a kite surf, but stand-up paddle boards and kayaks are totally free to take out. So all you have to do is sign them out, and you can take them out. So it's a small property, only 11 villas in total. These are the rate sheets which I'll send through to you. This is per villa price, and this is on half board basis. And for any stay of 4 nights or more, guests receive a 10% discount per night. But the whole design of Zanzibar White Sands is all about space, privacy. It's a very beautiful, very peaceful property with obviously not many guests there, with only 11 villas, but this lovely green, lush, very mature garden. So it has a very tropical feel to it, but it's obviously right on the beach, beautiful, beautiful spot of Zanzibar. So the villas these are the different styles of the villas. So each villa has its own plunge pool, because obviously the tide is quite tidal, so you can't always swim in the sea. Each villa has their own plunge pool, and they also have a sala on the beach as well. The two buildings you see here, the one with the roof terrace is the bedroom with the roof terrace on top, and then the other building is the lounge dining room area, which also has their own little drinks area as well, which has a fridge that's stocked with all the drinks that you may wish. Every villa has their own butler that looks after the guests. They also have their outside eating area and plunge pools. And so a lot of guests really enjoy having in-villa dining. As I mentioned, each villa is spread over an area of 1,500 square meters. So very, very big and spacious, very spread apart. It's an aerial shot of two of the one-bedroom villas next to each other on the beach. And this short film just gives you more of an idea of the kind of the layout of the beach and particularly the one-bedroom villas and how close they are to the beach. So this is then the beach salas, and then you have a beautiful view of the beach as well. The rooms themselves are enormous. They're 55 square meters, so you can easily fit in an extra bedroom or even two if you had young children. Very, very big and spacious. They have an indoor bathroom and an beautiful outdoor bathroom as well. The whole style of Zanzibar White Sands is very much like, I always think it's like Scandinavia meets Africa. Very white wood, quite minimalist design, really kind of really beautiful. You can see why it's so popular with Instagrammers and influencers, because it's just so beautiful and photogenic. But actually, it is totally, it's even more amazing than this in real life. This is the living room area and the kitchen dining area behind, with the drinks unit as well, which is stocked with all the drinks you may wish. And these are the two-bedroom villas. So the bedrooms themselves are identical, one on top of the other. The top one has this beautiful big balcony with a lovely view, and the bottom one has direct access to the pool. So they're both equally as lovely. And the access to the second bedroom is through the staircase you see here, which is accessed externally. And then you also have obviously the lovely plunge pool and dining area as well. This is the balcony of the one-bedroom villa. And then the 5-bedroom villa is brilliant for families or small groups traveling together. They have a home cinema, 2 hot tubs. They have a slightly larger pool, lovely decked area, dining area, and lounge sitting room area. One of the rooms has got an interconnecting room, so it's really good for if you've got children or if you've got children traveling with a nanny. The second room is slightly smaller, but it's great it's perfect for kids. It's got 2 twin beds in there, and it's perfect for children who want to be near their parents. Beautiful lounge area as well. But Zanzibar White Sands, particularly being part of Relais Chateaux, whose focus is very, very much on the quality of the food. Food is obviously a big focus for them. They have 2 restaurants. They have their Doors to Zanzibar restaurant, which is their more formal dining. Then they have a beach restaurant, which is right in the middle of the plot, right on the beach, as the name suggests, which is really popular for breakfast or lunches. And this is the lounge bar where guests will meet for dinner for drinks before dinner. The food is very much obviously Zanzibar is known as a spice island. So the food is very much about seafood and spices and local food, but also very much international flavour as well. So Natalia, who is the co-owner, actually got stuck in Zanzibar over lockdown. Can you imagine anywhere more heavily to get stuck? But she used that time to set up a farmers cooperative. So they now source a lot of their produce through the farmers cooperatives they're working with. They've set up really sustainable farming practices and just made the whole supply chain far more efficient. So where they're using a lot more local produce than they did before, and they're really trying hard to do more of that. It obviously means it's more seasonal, but it means it's more local as well. So they also have a rooftop bar where you can have you meet for pre-dinner drinks, and also the Kite Bar, which is more of an informal bar, open during the day and shuts before sunset. This is the Rooftop Sunset Bar, which they have twice a week. They'll have managers' drinks where guests can come together and meet each other and have canapes and drinks. And twice a week they also do entertainment as well. So it might be a Maasai theme where they get the Maasais to come in and dance, or they'll have a local band that comes in, and that tends to be like a barbecue or buffet style, which is really lovely. So then the guests can actually have a chance to mingle, because part of the problem with Zanzibar White Sands is the villas are so big and so spacious and so private, you often don't even meet your neighbour. So it's a nice way for guests to actually come together and meet each other. They also do in-villa dining as well, which is very popular. Each villa has their own butler and their own outdoor dining area, and also romantic dining setups, particularly for honeymooners. Another great popular option is the sunrise experience. You can get up early and watch the sunrise with some bubbles and some breakfast, which is a really lovely experience to have, because the property actually faces the sunrise and the sun sets on the other side of the island. There are lots of things to do in and around this area. So this is the main swimming pool, looking out over the villas, and you can see here just how beautiful the gardens are. There are 11 full-time gardeners for the properties. There are a lot of gardeners looking after those beautiful gardens. Kitesurfing, as I mentioned, is a big focus for them. They actually was one of the reasons why the family built Zanzibar White Sands. They're really, really keen kite surfers, and they traveled the world trying to find the best kite surfing location. And they found it here on Zanzibar, and they then decided to build this beautiful hotel that they felt that the property in Zanzibar didn't really represent, or didn't. They felt that actually they'd travelled a lot to the Maldives, and they loved that kind of style of kind of Scandinavia meets Africa style, and they decided to build their own boutique hotel in Zanzibar. But really, kite surfing was one of the main reasons which drove them to this area. And it is brilliant all year round, except for May and November when the trade winds turn. But the lovely thing about kite surfing is, as a spectator, it is totally silent. So it's not an intrusive sport. It's actually very beautiful watching these kites going backwards and forwards. And when I was there in December 2020, my children, who were 11 and 12 at the time, actually had a go. It's a brilliant place to learn because it's very shallow and it's very consistent wind and it's very warm water. So it's a brilliant place for beginners or experts alike. But if you're not into kite surfing, you can just grab a kayak, take the kayak out, go paddleboarding. You can also do these amazing excursions on the little dhows. They also have an outdoor spa, so they have 2 treatment rooms, a hot tub and a steam room, and the masseuses there are, I'm very lucky to say, they are fantastic. I have had a couple of treatments there. They're really amazing. This is our dojo, our outdoor fitness area. So if you have clients who don't want to stop training when they're away, we also do yoga lessons as well, yoga sessions as well. This is the main pool, which also has a little kiddies pool next to it as well. And then you can take these beach bikes. So you can rent, you can just, not rent, you sign them out, and they're specially designed with fat wheels for cycling on sand. So you can go exploring up to Paje, which is the village just north of Zanzibar White Sands. And it's about a 10-minute walk or a few minute cycle ride. And it's brilliant because there's lots of there's more kind of smaller hotels or backpackers there and quite a few bars. So it's quite a fun place to go up and have a drink or go for lunch. You can also do sunrise kayaking, stargazing, making the most of the beautiful clear nights. And it's really good for families. They have a little kiddies pool you can see in the bottom image, also a playground area and nannies as well. It's worth noting that with the 2-bedroom villas, because the second bedroom is accessed externally, it's not so great for little children to be up there, but the bedrooms themselves are enormous, so you can easily fit an extra bed in there, and they're beautiful beds. My third child, 3 kids, they were all in one room, and the third one had a beautiful 4-poster bed, so it definitely was not a kind of, it was a very beautiful, substantial third bed. So it's plenty of space to fit children in the bedrooms with the parents. And then going further afield, snorkeling and diving is only 15 minutes away. It's really lovely. It's great for kids in particular as a first time kind of snorkeling experience. There's lots of coral and lots of fish to see, and it's very, very close to the beach, so it's very, very easy to get to. Stone Town is only 1 hour's drive away. It's really worth getting a guide to show you around Stone Town. It's got the most fascinating history. There's so much to see and do that you will not be able to possibly know about if you were just taking yourself around. We actually went to the Slave Museum, which was really interesting, right in the centre of Stone Town, because obviously Stone Town was a really important hub, really, for the slave trade movement, and it's really interesting to go and see. And this is one of the memorials that has been built to commemorate the slaves. Jozani Forest is only 10 minutes away. It's a really lovely excursion, particularly if you haven't been on safari. If you are connecting to Zanzibar after being on safari, probably there's not much need to go to Jozani Forest, because whilst it's beautiful and there's lots of birds and monkeys, you would have seen a lot of that on safari. But if you've got clients who just want to go and do a beach and they want a little taster of the kind of wildlife you can find, then it's a really cool thing to do. And it's only 10 minutes away. The Rock is 20 minutes away. The Rock is a real institution on Zanzibar. It's just amazing to go and see. It is quite touristy, but it's really good fun. And it's literally situated, as the name suggests, on a rock in the middle of the ocean. Well, it's just off the beach, but if the tide's in, you have to get a boat to it. If the tide's out, you can walk. But it's a really fun experience and lovely, lovely seafood. Again, Zanzibar is so easy to access safaris from. So Salou is really accessible. There's regular flights that go there. You can easily, if you've got clients that want to spend most of the time on the beach, want to do a short safari, you can easily do that. When we were in Salou a couple of years ago, you actually had day trippers coming over from Zanzibar doing 1 day safari, which I think sounds pretty full on, but you can do it. If someone wants to just have a taster, they can do it as a day trip. And then it's all about slowing down at Zanzibar White Sands, enjoying the gardens, the peace, the design, the privacy, beautiful big bars, lovely locally made dressing gowns. But if you've got clients that are a bit more active, we do have our newly opened tennis court with floodlights, so they can carry on playing into the evening when the temperature is cooler. So that's a really fun addition that literally opened 2 weeks ago. They work very closely with the Maasai. They have, as I mentioned earlier, they have a buffet once a week. It's like a Maasai themed evening as well. So they come and dance and they set up their wares, so you can go and buy some products. But it's really nicely done. And they work also really closely with local cosmetics companies, particularly seaweed. There's a really amazing seaweed farm nearby where they then make the soap from, and it's run by an amazing group of women. And then in terms of veggies, they've got an amazing veggie garden, which they really encourage guests to walk around and see, where they grow a lot of their own spices, or if not, they try and buy them, source them locally. And they also have a carpentry workshop behind the hotel. So this is where they make all their furniture, all their wood carving things, everything with beds, everything has been made in the carpentry workshop, which again, guests are welcome to go and see. And they actually are expanding and selling onto other properties on the island. So it's a really, really important source of employment and also source of maintenance for the property as well. In terms of sustainability, they have solar panels, they have wind turbines. So they are really kind of, as I mentioned, they're setting up this farmers cooperative. So they're very engaged with being as responsible as they can in terms of the environment and in terms of community.